How's it going, everyone? We got Milo here, who got top 4 in our Crest of Power tournament. 5 rounds of Swiss, top 8. Walk us through your deck, man.
Yeah, so I played OKO Green or OTK Green, whatever people like to call it, with Grant Kawagamon as the main guy. And so for this deck profile, I'll be quickly going over the cards and kind of saying what my matchups were and how I felt about them. I already did a different deck I did it because it's the same list. It's on Kiryu Plays channel, or as the locals know him here as Anson. So if you want to see why I play certain cards in the build, you can watch that one. But for this, it'll just be a quick run through, and then the overall matchups of the day. So starting off with the eggs, 4 Minomon and 1 Modimon. The eggs in this deck are probably like the most irrelevant eggs of like any meta deck, since most of the time you're digibursting them out. So this one, so you just use 2 conditional 1Ks, since like the other best egg is like Argumon, but that happens almost never in this deck. So that's why I play these eggs. And then on to the more interesting cards, the rookies. So I play 4 copies of the reason why the deck works. The 4 Palmon. So just basic rookie, has the inheritable effect of when its Tracity does Digiburst gain jamming. And the way the game mechanics work in this game is that when something gains a skill, when a Digimon is given a skill or gains a skill, it stays on the Digimon stack. And I'll go into that a little later. Then I play 7 Vanillas just for pressure, since oftentimes with this deck you're consistently clearing out their security stack in 1 turn, and then you just have to deal that last damage. So these Vanillas help you get there quick. They're cheap, they can just dump them out really cheap. If they don't have a set 3 Tamer out, you can memory cuck them with them, so it's always pretty nice. If the one change I was debating on making was going down to 5 rookies or 5 Vanillas for 2 Terriermon, because I was kind of debating and seeing how relevant Terriermon is in our local meta, since I'm not like 100% positive on if I would play him in this deck.
Did it feel like opponents that had the ability to memory game, did you feel that was going to be some problems or what?
No, it was more so like, so for the yellow matchup, it was the one I was mainly thinking of, because I was like, without their access to Blinding Ray, I can kind of set their tempo, and so if they have no TK, I can memory cuck them pretty easily, and even if they have TK, I usually have Mimi out, and I don't mind letting them have 3. It's usually when they can get more than 3 that I actually start to be like, oh, okay. And also randomly Valdararm wouldn't gain memory. So it's kind of like the main ones for the yellow matchup, but also there's like enough fringe stuff, since there's just a lot of decks that randomly gain like 1 or 2 memory, which is why I play it, which is why I was considering it. So I'm maybe at it. I'm not sure though. I have to test it.
Some of our players play Kaori that gains +1 memory when their security's at 3 or less.
Yeah, and that one, because Terriermon can't touch Tamer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
so
why
it's like,
I understand it can be kind of tricky.
Yeah.
And some of the players who did top 8 did.
Yeah, because it doesn't hit universally. Since a lot of the Tamers is like, they don't care about the other stuff as long as their Tamers get the memory. So it's going to be one we're going to look into the future.
Yeah.
And then
Perchermon decks, sure, it can hurt them with their
Hammer Spark, but it's really fringe, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so the last of the rookies, 3 Lalamon, when it gets trashed due to Digiburst, goes to hand, one of the cycle that every color got. The reason I only play 3 is once you see 1, you're just going to keep cycling it most of the time, so you don't really need to play the 4th copy. And then on to level 4s. We play 8 blockers, so 4 of the Woodmon, the 2 Digilution cost, and 4 of the Kabuterimon, the 1 Digilution cost. The reason we do this is because your level 4s are the most irrelevant level in the deck, since you're usually just going up the chain quickly. And if not, you want to have this out for defense purposes. Like, you don't like want Beemons getting swung in or like random stuff. And it's like against purple, they usually still want to suicide their stuff, but instead of being like, oh, I'll deal a damage and suicide, they just get their value, but I'll just block it. And then for the last 4, we play a 2/2 Digimon Roachmon. So for the reason for the split is more in certain matchups. It's better to just hard cast the Roachmon in certain situations if you brick or don't draw a rookie in a certain aspect. But the downside is with the frequency of yellow being super common, it can just get hit pretty easily. So that's why you do the 2/2 split, and then you kind of hold them off for different reasons. You kind of know when to digivolve what and when to not digivolve the other stuff. So pretty basic. And then on to the level 5s. We got my favorite card in the deck, 3 Lilamon. Digiburst 2, tap something down. Really good for cheesing out games. If you feel like it's a game where you're like, I'm not going to go for the OCO, I'm kind of going to go for like a Nidhogg board control efficiency style. This helps tap down stuff to get easy picks. Since with the Metamon, she's an 8K. And then the inheritable of on swing, if you have a Tamer in play, tap something is also super relevant, and you can kind of do some little shenanigans with your level 6 stuff and how you order things to get around blockers and stuff. And then for the rest of the level 5s, we play the 4 Blossomon and the 1 Argomon. So just the standard Digisorption package. Obviously really great, gets you up to the chain really easily. Really great with Nidhoggmon too, since once you have a level 4, you can just go into Nidhoggmon any turn. Argomon, like just technically it's slightly better. Blossomon, since you can cheat in suspended rookies. This ability happens very infrequently though. I kind of just play it as the 5th Digisorption target. Since oftentimes, even when I get to cheat something in, it usually will always get picked off pretty easily.
You're talking about like hardcasting your 2-drop vanillas?
Yeah, I get to cheat in the vanillas. And because of my build, I don't play like Tentomon or anything with like an ETB effect. It's literally usually just a vanilla. So that's why it's pretty underwhelming in this build. But just having a 5th Digisorption is nothing to complain about. Then on to the big boss boys, the level 6s. The reason the main boss monster of the deck, for Grand Kawagamon. So Grand Kawagamon has the ability of Digiburst 2, gives any of your Digimon security attack +1. And it's not a once per turn, so if you evolve up from an egg... Okay, it's fine. Because it's a once per turn. It's not a once per turn, so you can just do it. So what you do is when you have the Palmon out, you activate this twice. You give itself plus security attack, so security attack +2. So it's swinging for 3, and then when Palmon gets trashed, it gives it jamming. So you're swinging in for 3 damage with jamming. So really solid. Then you play we play 3 Nidhoggmon. The reason why this deck is able to like stabilize and be efficient is board wipes. Super easy board wipe when you go up the chain. Like I was saying, when you have a level 4, you can just go Blossomon, Nidhoggmon, and just wipe a board. Since you can just Digi-Absorption itself, since most of the time, since its Digivolution cost is 5, you're almost always passing the turn over to your opponent after that. So you can just kind of do it after no board. And then they have to reset their board while you still have a 13k beater. That can also go into the last, or the level 7 of the deck, the Rare Chaosmon. So what this one does, I think most people know what it does, but it has Piercing, and then on Digivolution, you get to unsuspend itself and then attack one of your opponent's Digimon, even if it's unsuspended. And this is the second or third part of the combo, I guess, because when you stack it on top of Grand Kawagamon, because of, like I explained, when something's given a skill, it stays on the stack. So then Chaosmon would get the jamming and +2 security attack and can clear out the rest of the security. And then even if you're not trying to clear out the whole security, like you do a Nidhoggmon, they make another play, you swing Nidhoggmon, and then you just like Chaosmon their last thing to kind of seal the deal and make it so they can't really get off the ground. And then for the Tamers and option cards, for Tamers, we have my second favorite card of the deck, 3 Mimi. So it's a set 3 Tamer. Really important for this deck since kind of glossed over it, but a lot of the, well, your level 5s and level 6s, your level 5s in Grand Kawagamon Digivolve for 3. So when you have this out, you can in certain situations. Like if you have a level 5 in the nursery and you have a Mimi out, it means that you can do the Grand Quagamon combo no matter what. Really important. And then she has the ability of when you have a level 5 or higher Digimon in play, you can tap her to essentially get like a second hatch/move phase, which is really important for pressure, and especially since you can stack Mimis, so at 2 it gets really out of hand, and it helps you get a lot of advantage in certain matchups. Then for the options, to round out the deck, 2 Needle Sprays. 2's enough. The security effect's nice. Doesn't really happen that often. And if it does, I usually like rarely tap something down. I'll just grab it to hand, and it's good. And better than Flower Cannon for this deck because it can tap down blockers, and that's really what you're tapping down 90% of the time. You can tap it down for game. You can tap down something to then set up a Nidhoggmon play. It's always really nice. And then the last card, a limited hidden potential discovered. So this is just gives basically anything Digisorption 5. Really good. Reasons limited. So yeah, that's the main deck. And then for matchups, round 1 I played against another green deck. I couldn't tell if it was the Mirror or Herc because they didn't really get off the ground super quickly. So I'm sorry for that. Round 2 I played against Purple Metal Garurumon. And that matchup seemed pretty fine. I didn't really have any issues with it. Just did normal stuff. Brick game 2, so I had to make it go to game 3. But in the games where I was drawing fine, I feel like I played well. Round 3, I played against Shine Greymon. Yeah, I'm like totally blanking. Shine Greymon. So it was an interesting build, but I kind of cleaned it out. Didn't have an issue with that since I kind of know the yellow matchup. I've got it down pretty well. And since it's less, I wouldn't say it's bad. I don't think the deck's bad. I just think it's less scary for it's less scary for green per se, or this kind of build. So I felt more comfortable playing against it. And then round 4, I played against a blue-yellow Megazoo variant. They used a lot of recovery to kind of stall out and kind of slowly whittle away at your opponents. I beat that one pretty easily since they didn't know what my combo did game 1, so I got that. And then game 2, I unfortunately bricked and couldn't get going, but game 3, we just played it smoothly, and then we cleared it out. And then round 5, I was supposed to play against Yellow War Greymon, but I chose to scoop it as I felt that giving my opponent the matchup knowledge, since he wasn't completely comfortable with the matchup, whereas I'm pretty comfortable with the Yellow War Greymon matchup, kind of seemed irrelevant. And since we're both making top cut, not a big issue. And then top cut, I played against Purple Mastamon with like the yellow splash. Dealt with that handily. Didn't have any issues with that. And then in top 4, I unfortunately lost to Jensen, who was piloting his like a security control variant with like purple, red, and yellow as the main colors. And it was pretty interesting matchup. I didn't really know how to deal with like the amount of threats in the security he had.
Have you had experience with dealing with McDonald's decks?
Yeah, so the week before I actually beat him pretty easily, and he was playing just red yellow because the way his deck was made, when I got jamming, literally the only thing that would kill me in security was Gaia Force, but now it's changed to where a lot of stuff can kill me in security. And also the matchup's very dependent on if I draw the Palmons, and if I don't get the Palmons, it's a lot harder due to the RNG aspect of it. And then he did get some nice security luck, but that happens, and I wouldn't say he sacked me or anything. But I hope to get the run back next week and see what I can do against the deck.
Cool. Any shout-outs you want to give?
Of course. Shout out the Schmeat boys, Team Schmeat. Nigel specifically for letting me use this deck one last time for this event. since I have a Herc Kabuterimon deck built, but I still need to tweak out the ratios, and I didn't feel comfortable bringing it to this event. And then obviously shout out to Anson for being the testing partner and always being here. Neither of them can make it out today, so I played for them in spirit. Yeah. Carried the. Oh, don't say that. No.
No. Oh, okay.
I was here though. They gave me the energy, the spirit bomb.
And by next month, hopefully we'll be able to make it to our team tournament.
Yeah, we think we can. I'm pretty sure, unless we have any upcoming scheduling issues, that it should work out. Yeah.
Well, appreciate you. I mean, you always reasonably top. You either top or you bomb. It's either one or the other.
Yeah, it's feast or famine with me. Yeah.
Well, you did great today. Glad you were able to top 8, represent the Sheep Boys.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what you. I mean, we'll see what happens next. We got our.
Yeah, because I won't be playing this build. I'll be trying out the Herc Kabuterimon build and seeing how I like it.
And hopefully we'll see that top 8 and maybe.
Yeah, hopefully we can do a deck profile on that.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Don't forget to click, subscribe, like. Man, I still can't get the word "lick" out of my head. Nasty. Okay, you guys know what I mean out there at the interweb. So don't laugh. I could edit this, but I don't feel like it, and I never ever do.
It's the natural charm. It's the natural charm that we get.
Right?
That's CSG over here.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, leave a comment below what you guys think, and yeah, peace out, guys.